The morning started like any other, quiet, the sun just beginning to push soft light through the curtains, the smell of coffee drifting from the kitchen. A man in his late 60s swung his legs over the side of the bed, expecting the same ordinary routine. But in an instant, everything changed. His knees buckled. The pain shot so sharply through his hips and hands that the coffee mug he was holding slipped and shattered on the floor. The shock wasn't just the burning liquid or the broken glass. It was the terrifying realization that his own body had betrayed him. In that moment, with his heart racing and his breath shallow, he felt powerless. This wasn't just morning stiffness. It felt like losing control of life itself. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever opened your eyes and thought the hardest part of the day wasn't what lay ahead, but simply the act of standing up? Have you ever felt betrayed by your own body, as if it were holding you hostage in the very moments when you most needed freedom? That fear, the fear of decline, of not being able to trust yourself, is one of the most profound and lonely feelings we face as we grow older. And it's not just about the joints or the aches, it's about identity, it's about dignity, it's about the creeping thought that maybe, just maybe, life is slipping away faster than you can catch it. I want to pause here because this is not just a story about pain, it's a story about awakening. What if I told you that those first fragile minutes of your morning don't have to be a battlefield? What if I told you that hidden inside those minutes is the single most powerful opportunity you have each day to reclaim not just your body, but your hope? Let me introduce you to an idea I call morning momentum. Think of your body like an ignition switch. The first 30 minutes after you wake are not simply routine, they're the spark. If you flip the switch the wrong way, you stall out. Pain floods in. Stiffness takes hold, your mind grows foggy, and the day feels heavy before it has even begun. But if you flip it the right way, you set off a chain reaction. Energy flows, joints loosen, your spirit lifts, and suddenly the day feels like it belongs to you again. This is not magic, and it's not about pills or miracle gadgets. It's about simple, natural choices. Tiny shifts you can make in those first minutes of morning that change the entire rhythm of your day. Imagine waking up and not dreading the floor beneath your feet. Imagine sitting with your grandkids at breakfast, not distracted by pain, but laughing at their stories. Imagine stepping outside, the sunlight warm on your face, and feeling your body respond with gratitude instead of rebellion. That's what morning momentum is about. And here's the good news, it's not a distant dream. Real people, people just like you, are already living it. They're not professional athletes, they're not scientists in labs, they're everyday seniors across America who decided they didn't want to surrender their mornings to pain anymore. They made small changes, habits so ordinary you'll wonder why no one ever told you before. And the results have been nothing short of life-changing. I know the fears that come with age are not just physical. There's the quiet worry about memory slipping, about sharpness fading, about independence narrowing. Pain in the body too easily feeds fear in the mind. But here's the deeper truth. Every day you wake up is another chance to turn the story around. Arthritis does not get to define you. Stiffness is not your destiny. The loss of clarity is not inevitable. You are more powerful than the pain, and your mornings, your sacred mornings, can become the key to proving it. Over the course of this video, I'm going to share with you surprising, uplifting, and science-backed ways to unlock that morning momentum. Some of these ideas may sound unusual at first. Some may sound so simple you'll wonder why no one ever emphasized them before. But every single one of them has been proven in the lives of people just like you to melt away the dread of morning pain and replace it with freedom, energy, and joy. And the best part, you won't need a prescription bottle. You won't need expensive equipment. You won't even need hours of your time. Just a few small shifts, done consistently, and you'll feel like you've discovered a secret everyone else forgot to share. So stay with me, because the next few minutes could change the way you look at mornings forever. If you've ever felt betrayed by your body, I promise you, this is your invitation to take back the power. And before we dive into the heart of these solutions, I want to invite you to become part of something bigger. Subscribe to this channel, Senior Thrive. By doing so, you're not just supporting me, you're supporting a community of people determined to live their best years with strength, clarity, and joy. Your click, your subscription, is what fuels us to keep bringing you stories, science, and hope. Together, we can make sure no one faces these mornings alone, because the morning that changed everything doesn't have to be the end of the story. It can be the beginning of a brighter one. Sometimes the enemies of our comfort are not out there in the world, but right inside our own bedroom, sneaking in like uninvited guests who steal our peace while we sleep. We expect our nights to bring rest, to heal, to prepare us for the day ahead, but often the very way we sleep sets us up for the pain that greets us at dawn. It is a cruel irony. The hours meant for restoration can quietly conspire against us. And the worst part, most people never suspect it. They blame age or fate or simply bad luck. But the truth is simpler and more hopeful. Once we understand these hidden culprits, we can show them the door and welcome in the helpers that make mornings not just bearable, but beautiful again. Let's start with sleeping position. It seems harmless, doesn't it? You curl on your side or rest flat on your back and drift away. Yet the way your joints rest for 6 or 7 hours matters more than you think. Imagine bending your garden hose overnight and expecting water to flow easily in the morning. The kink restricts movement, and when you release it, there is pressure, stiffness, resistance. Joints work much the same way. Sleeping twisted or with unsupported knees and hips puts stress on cartilage and connective tissue, leaving you with stiffness so sharp it feels like rust setting in. The good news is that the solution is as close as your pillow. By placing a small cushion under your knees when lying on your back or between your thighs when lying on your side, you reduce pressure on hips and lower back. This gentle adjustment keeps joints aligned, blood flowing freely, and muscles relaxed. It is astonishing how such a small shift can change the way you feel before your feet even touch the floor. Now consider something most people overlook entirely: the air in your bedroom. We rarely think about humidity when we think about joints, but dry air is like a thief. Cartilage, the cushioning tissue inside your joints, depends on moisture. When the air is desert dry, especially in heated homes during winter, the body loses water more quickly. Joints respond by feeling stiffer, more fragile, less forgiving. It is what I like to call dry joint syndrome. The metaphor is easy. Just as a wooden floor cracks and warps in dry air, our joints creak and resist. A simple bedside humidifier changes the story. By keeping moisture in the air, you protect the subtle balance inside your body, reducing the silent stress that builds overnight. Many people notice within a week that mornings feel smoother, that the grinding stiffness gives way to fluid movement, and all because of a little extra water in the air. There is another culprit hiding in plain sight: poor nighttime circulation. Cold feet, cramped legs, the heaviness that comes from blood not moving freely. All of these are like invisible weights dragging you down while you sleep. When circulation slows, joints and muscles don't get the nourishment they need, and you wake up feeling as though you carried a burden all night long. But here too, a simple helper waits at hand. Keep a small heated rice sock by your bed, warm it in the microwave for a minute before you settle in, or use it right before standing in the morning. The gentle heat signals vessels to open, blood to flow, and stiffness to release. Think of it as giving your body a warm handshake before the day begins. It is not expensive or complicated, but it can feel like pure relief. Beyond these fixes, there are quiet allies you can invite into your room to tip the balance in your favor. An indoor plant is not just decoration. It cleans the air, adds natural humidity, and softens the harshness of sealed rooms. A weighted blanket is not just a comfort fad. For many older adults, it calms restless muscles and eases the nervous system, leading to deeper, steadier sleep. A lavender oil diffuser is not just fragrance. Its gentle aroma has been shown to relax tense muscles and quiet the mind, allowing the body to truly rest instead of staying on alert. None of these are miracle cures, but together they create an environment where healing can actually happen, where inflammation signals quiet down instead of flaring up. Science confirms what common sense already whispers to us. When you lower stress on your body at night, through alignment, hydration, circulation, and calm, you lower inflammation in the morning. Think of it like tuning an instrument before a performance. If you go to bed out of tune, you wake up with dissonance, every movement a discordant note. But if you take a few moments to set the stage with these gentle adjustments, you wake up ready to play music instead of noise. So much of life after 60 can feel like losing control. But here in the simplest of places, your own bed, your own bedroom, you have more power than you realize. You can choose to let those uninvited guests of stiffness and pain stay the night, or you can show them out and welcome in comfort, calm, and healing. Every evening becomes an opportunity, every morning a chance to reap the quiet rewards of the care you gave yourself. The science is real, the solutions are simple, and the outcome is yours to claim. Mornings that begin not with dread, but with ease, with freedom, with hope. Hope is not a grand gesture. Sometimes it begins with the smallest ritual, the smallest act of defiance against pain, a whisper to yourself that says, I am still here and life is still worth savoring. Too often, mornings for people living with arthritis become battles to be endured, groaning, bracing, waiting for the stiffness to fade. But what if those same mornings could be transformed into celebrations, into little feasts of joy that not only ease pain but also set the spirit alight? This is the essence of what I call the Joy Reset, a collection of simple, intentional rituals that replace resignation with delight and that remind you that life after 60 is not about surviving. It is about choosing to thrive. One of the most powerful ways to begin this reset is with what I like to call the gratitude stretch. It is deceptively simple. Before you even stand, as you gently stretch your arms overhead or roll your shoulders, say aloud 3 things you are grateful for. Perhaps it is the smile of your granddaughter, the loyal presence of your dog curled at your feet, or even the gift of another sunrise breaking through your window. The science behind this is compelling. Movement tells your body to loosen its joints, and gratitude tells your brain to shift its focus from pain to possibility. Combined, the effect is greater than either alone. Your muscles wake up while your heart remembers why it is worth getting out of bed. I have seen men who once dreaded mornings find themselves smiling before their feet touch the floor, because gratitude reframes every ache as proof they are still alive, still capable of love and contribution. Another ritual that breathes energy into the day is the music move. Think back to the songs of your youth, the Beatles, Motown, a country ballad that once played on a summer night when the world felt wide open. Music carries memory, and memory carries joy. Put on one of those songs and allow yourself just 5 minutes of chair dancing, foot tapping, or swaying. The body responds not only to rhythm, but to meaning. The melody triggers the release of endorphins, the natural chemicals that dull pain and lift mood. But beyond biology, music reconnects you with who you are, not just who you fear you are becoming. I once spoke to a woman in her 70s who swore she could not exercise. Yet when she played Twist and Shout, she found herself laughing, moving, and forgetting about her arthritis for those precious minutes. That is the hidden gift. You are not exercising, you are living and living joyfully. There is also the kitchen therapy trick, a ritual that may seem almost too practical to be profound. Many of us start the day with coffee, perhaps toast, sometimes even sugary pastries. But what if the very first bite of your day was an act of healing rather than harm? Imagine a colorful jar on your counter, filled with almonds, walnuts, or dried cherries, snacks known to ease inflammation. The moment you reach for it, you are sending yourself a message. I am caring for my body, not punishing it. The act is small, but the symbolism is large. Instead of guilt or regret, you begin with empowerment. And because the jar is bright and inviting, it becomes a reminder not of restriction, but of abundance. Food becomes not an enemy to be feared, but a friend that helps you greet the day with strength. These rituals may sound simple, even ordinary, but their power lies in consistency and intention. Each one tells your mind and body a new story, that life is still beautiful, that joy is not gone, that every morning is an invitation. I think of Mark and Helen, a couple from Ohio who once believed arthritis had stolen their dream of traveling the country in their RV. They parked the vehicle for almost 2 years, convinced they would never again explore the state parks they loved. But then they stumbled upon these small morning rituals. They began stretching together, speaking their gratitudes aloud, dancing to old Motown hits in their kitchen, and snacking on nuts instead of donuts. Slowly, mornings grew lighter, and so did their hearts. Today, in their early 70s, they are back on the road, sending postcards from places they thought they would never see again. Their laughter rings louder than their complaints, and their rituals have become the compass that points them toward freedom. This is the promise of the Joy Reset. It is not about erasing pain completely, because pain is a part of life. It is about refusing to let pain have the final word. Your mornings are not just about fighting stiffness. They are about creating joy on purpose, joy that carries you through the hours ahead. When you stretch with gratitude, when you move with music, when you choose nourishment over neglect, you are reclaiming the narrative. You are saying, I am alive, and I will not let this day slip away unnoticed. And that choice, repeated morning after morning, becomes a life not of survival, but of celebration. Pain has a way of convincing us that we are alone. It whispers that no one else could possibly understand the heaviness of our mornings, the stiffness that makes even simple tasks feel like climbing a hill. But the truth is, arthritis is not just an individual struggle. It is something millions share. And hidden inside that shared experience is an untapped power. The chance to turn pain into purpose, to transform mornings of isolation into mornings of connection, courage, and even celebration. Imagine what happens when we stop hiding our struggles and instead use them to reach out to others. That's how a private battle becomes a public victory. Every senior who finds a way to face the morning with hope has something worth sharing, something that could ease the burden for someone else. That is why I invite you right now to think of your own morning rituals, your little secrets of strength. Share them in the comments below. Maybe it's the way you stretch before getting out of bed, or a prayer whispered in the early light, or even the music you play while making breakfast. Your wisdom might be the missing piece for someone across the country who is desperate for relief. Together, those stories can become a living library of resilience, a tribe bound not by pain, but by hope. There are new ways, too, to weave connection into your mornings. One of the most powerful is what I call the morning walking call. It's beautifully simple. Pick up the phone, call a friend or even your grandchild, and take a short walk as you talk. The conversation distracts you from the discomfort, the movement warms your joints, and the shared laughter or storytelling lifts your heart. Over time, these walks stop being a duty and start becoming something you look forward to, a ritual of both health and companionship. Another idea is the victory journal. Keep it by your bedside or in the kitchen, and every morning write down one small win. Maybe it's that you stood up straighter than yesterday, or that you managed to bend without wincing, or that you walked to the mailbox with more ease. At first, these victories might seem minor, but when you look back after a month, you will see a story of progress written in your own hand. The journal becomes evidence of your strength, a testimony that resilience grows one step at a time. This is the great reframe. Arthritis is not simply a thief of comfort. It is also a teacher of resilience. Every step you take, no matter how small, is proof that you are stronger than yesterday. Every morning you rise, even with pain, is a declaration that life is worth showing up for. Pain becomes not just a burden, but a reminder of how deeply you have lived, how much you still have to give, and how much more you can still savor. Picture for a moment a montage of lives rewritten by this mindset. A man in his 60s smiling as he walks his dog through a quiet neighborhood. A grandmother flipping pancakes while her grandchildren giggle at the table. A woman hugging her daughter at the park, her face lit with pride because she thought those hugs might no longer be possible. These are not fantasies. They are the ordinary miracles waiting in the mornings we choose to reclaim. So here is the rallying cry. Don't let arthritis write your mornings. Rewrite them yourself, with joy, with strength, with purpose, and don't do it alone. Together we can turn each sunrise into a celebration, not of what we've lost, but of what we still hold. Connection, laughter, gratitude, and love. If this message speaks to you, take the next step. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share your favorite ritual in the comments. Tell us what works for you so your wisdom can become someone else's lifeline. And pass this video along to a friend or loved one who deserves brighter mornings, who needs to know they are not fighting alone. Because the truth is simple, and it is powerful. Mornings are not just about waking up. They are about rising with resilience, with hope, with community. And together we can make every sunrise not a reminder of pain, but a reminder of purpose,